Ah, betrayal. That beautiful little poison they slipped into your veins with a smile. They called it loyalty while they sharpened their knives behind your back. They whispered promises with forked tongues, watched you bleed, and then, then they had the audacity to act surprised when you didn't stay down. But you see, that's where they miscalculated. They didn't just stab the old you, they carved out something unholy, something that doesn't break, something that doesn't forgive, something that doesn't just rise, it hunts. They shudder now, don't they? They hear your name in hushed voices, feel your shadow stretch long and cold behind them. Their hands tremble when they speak of you. Their laughter is nervous. Their smiles don't reach their eyes anymore. Good. They should be afraid. They should wake up in the middle of the night, drenched in sweat, gasping for air, feeling phantom hands around their throat, because you are not the one who suffers anymore. Oh no, that part of the game is over. Now it's their turn to lie awake, counting their regrets, knowing that the thing they betrayed has become their reckoning. You gave them your trust, your loyalty, your patience. You let them dance around their deception, let them play their little games, thinking you were blind. But you weren't blind. You were waiting, watching, studying every twitch in their face, every hesitation in their voice, every nervous glance when they thought you weren't looking. And when the moment was right, when the last mask fell away and their true faces stood naked before you, you smiled. Because that was the moment they realized, oh, how sweet was their realization, that you had never been their fool. You had been their judge, quietly carving their fate into stone. And now it's time for them to pay. Oh, they thought they were untouchable, didn't they? They thought they could twist the knife and walk away unscathed, as if you were just another casualty to be forgotten. But here's the thing about rage. It doesn't die. It doesn't fade. It doesn't disappear into the night like a defeated whisper. No, no, no. It festers. It grows. It evolves. And in your case, it has become something monstrous. They don't understand it yet, but they will. Soon. Because your rage has shape now. It has eyes that never blink, hands that never hesitate, a mind that doesn't forget, and it's coming for them. Look at them now, the ones who thought they had won, the ones who laughed at your pain, who feasted on your suffering like vultures picking apart a carcass. They're nervous, jittery, looking over their shoulders, feeling watched even when they're alone. That's the fear settling in. That's the weight of their sins crushing their chests, making it hard to breathe. Oh, how delicious it is to see them unravel, to watch the ones who once held the blade now tremble at the thought of facing you. Because they will face you. Oh, they will. They spoke your name with arrogance before. Now, they barely whisper it. They told themselves you would stay broken. But broken things don't haunt. Broken things don't make the air feel heavier, don't send chills crawling up the spine, don't turn laughter into forced silence. No, broken things don't do any of that. But you do, because you weren't broken. You were reforged, and what they thought was the end of you was only the beginning of something far, far worse. So let them run. Let them pretend they can escape what's coming. Let them lie to themselves a little longer, because the truth is, there is no escape. There never was. There's only the waiting. The slow, agonizing realization that the thing they thought they killed is very much alive. And it's not just alive, It's watching. It's smiling. It's getting closer. They can feel it now, can't they? That creeping dread slithering through their bones, wrapping around their throat like a noose, tightening with every breath they take. That's you. That's your rage whispering to them in the dark, promising that their sins will not be forgotten, that there is a price to be paid, that their time is running out. Tick, tock. Oh, they thought they were clever, thought they were playing a game they had already won. But they never understood that you were never just a player. You were the game itself. And now, it's time to watch them squirm. And squirm they will. Every breath they take now will taste of dread. Every shadow will stretch too long. Every silence will ring too loud. They will feel hunted in rooms full of people. We'll hear footsteps that aren't there. We'll startle at whispers that don't exist. That's the curse they wrote for themselves when they betrayed you. You were their greatest mistake. And now, they are living in the wreckage of what they built. Poetic, isn't it? How the ones who sought to destroy you ended up destroying themselves. But this is only the beginning. You haven't even touched them yet. No, this is just the overture, the quiet hum before the storm. Let them wallow in their fear. Let them be consumed by the thing they swore they could control. Because once the storm hits, there will be nothing left of them but echoes and regrets. And you will be standing amidst the ruins, smiling, knowing that justice was never meant to be gentle. They can feel it now, can't they? The way the walls close in, the way the air thickens, pressing against their lungs, making each breath a battle. It's in the way their hands shake when they reach for their phone, their mind screaming at them to check, to see if your name appears, to see if the silence is real or just the calm before the reckoning. Oh, how the mighty have fallen, once so bold, so untouchable, so convinced that their deception would fade into yesterday. But yesterday isn't done with them. It lingers, it festers, it grows teeth in the dark. And the thing they thought they buried, oh, it's awake, and it's hungry. Regret, that little parasite, has latched onto their soul now, gnawing, whispering, reminding them of every step that led them to this moment. They told themselves they were safe. They built their illusions brick by brick, layer upon layer, a fortress of lies to keep reality out. But lies are weak things when faced with truth. And the truth? The truth is a storm on the horizon, rolling closer with every heartbeat, with every tick of the clock that sounds just a little too loud, just a little too slow, because time isn't on their side anymore. Time is a noose tightening around their throats. Time is counting down, and they know, oh, they know, who holds the rope. It's poetic, really, the way fear consumes them now, the way their once steady hands tremble, how their smiles have turned brittle, how they glance over their shoulders like cornered animals. They wonder if they're being watched. They wonder if you're near. They wonder if tonight is the night the consequences arrive, wrapped in silence, wrapped in shadows, wrapped in the weight of their sins made flesh. And that's the best part, isn't it? The not knowing, the waiting, the exquisite agony of anticipation. They thought they understood pain when they inflicted it. But suffering? Suffering belongs to the betrayed. And you are its harbinger now. They used to scoff at the idea of karma, called it a myth, a fairy tale for the weak. But myths have a way of becoming nightmares when they wear the right face. And your face? It haunts them. Even when they close their eyes, you are there, carved into their subconscious, a specter of everything they tried to destroy but only managed to awaken. They don't sleep well anymore. They wake up gasping, drenched in sweat, heart pounding against their ribs like a war drum. Because even in their dreams, you are watching. Even in their silence, you are speaking. Even in their solitude, they are never, ever alone. Oh, but this is only the beginning. The real punishment is still unfolding, still winding its way through their days like a slow poison. And the beauty of it all? You haven't lifted a single finger. Not yet. This is fear doing the work for you. This is paranoia whispering in their ears, turning shadows into demons, turning reflections into ghosts. They wanted to rewrite history, erase their sins, rewrite the script where they played the hero. And you? Just another casualty. But they forgot something crucial. History doesn't erase itself. And you? You are the ink that stains their story forever. The world around them has changed, hasn't it? People look at them differently now. Some with pity, some with suspicion, some with the quiet knowledge that something isn't quite right. Their lies are unraveling thread by thread, their carefully woven web fraying at the edges. It's amusing, really, the way they scramble to maintain control, to keep up appearances, to silence the whispers that grow louder with each passing day. But the truth has a funny way of surfacing, like a corpse that refuses to stay buried. And they are learning, that no amount of deception can outrun a reckoning that walks on 2 feet, with eyes that never forget, and a heart that no longer knows mercy. And so they wait. Wait for the moment the silence breaks, for the night where their past comes knocking, for the second they realize that no amount of running will save them. The irony is delicious, isn't it? How they played the game thinking they had already won, thinking they had already beaten you. But they never understood what they were truly up against. Not a victim, not a casualty, not a forgotten footnote in their grand illusion. No, they were up against something far worse. They were up against the one thing they could never outmaneuver, never silence, never escape. They were up against the storm, and the storm is here. Do they feel it in their bones yet? That creeping sensation, that shudder that ripples through them when they least expect it. They try to ignore it, try to dismiss it as paranoia, as coincidence, as mere shadows dancing in their periphery. But deep down, they know. They know that justice doesn't sleep, that the weight of their actions was never going to be so easily shrugged off. They thought they were the architects of your downfall, but in reality, they were only digging their own graves. And now, they're waist deep in the dirt, clawing at the edges, gasping for air, while the walls of their own deception crumble around them. They thought they were the predators, the ones in control. But predators don't flinch at every unexpected sound. Predators don't feel their heartbeats stutter when a door creaks open, don't second-guess every shadow in the room. No. This is what happens to prey. And prey they have become. Slowly but surely, their own mind is turning against them, whispering warnings, flashing memories of all the times they underestimated you. How foolish they were, thinking that betrayal was the end of the story. But betrayal is never the end. Betrayal is just the beginning of the reckoning. And here you are, unseen but felt, unheard but deafening. A presence they cannot shake. They wake up to it. They carry it through their days. They feel it breathing down their necks, curling around their throats like an unseen specter. Every moment is an eternity, stretched thin by the unbearable weight of waiting. The waiting for you. The waiting for the moment their past finally demands payment in full. Because you are not just a memory. You are the echo of their sins, the manifestation of their consequences. And consequences? They always find their way home. So let them pretend. Let them clutch at their fragile illusions for just a little longer. Because the moment is coming. The moment where the illusion shatters, where reality crashes down on them with all the force of the storm they never saw coming. And when that moment arrives, oh, it will be beautiful. They never imagined it would come to this. The weight of their betrayal now crushes them, dragging them into an abyss they swore they'd never fall into. Every corner they turn, every breath they take, it all feels borrowed, temporary, tainted by the growing dread that lurks beneath their skin. They know it's coming, not in an explosion, not in a scream, but in the slow suffocation of inevitability. This isn't just fear anymore, no. Fear was a visitor. This question mark. This is their new home. They can't escape the way the walls seem closer than before, the way silence has stopped being comforting and turned into an open grave. Waiting, watching, whispering. Their own heartbeat betrays them, hammering too fast, too loud, as if it too is trying to flee from what's coming. They sit in the dark, gripping onto whatever illusions they have left, telling themselves that monsters aren't real, but you. You are proof that monsters can be made, and they made you. How poetic it is, the way their world is unraveling thread by thread, their false security slipping through their fingers like sand. The people around them have changed, haven't they? The once loyal faces now avoid eye contact. Conversations are cut short. The warmth of their fake kingdom has turned cold. They feel it in the way they are watched, not with admiration, not with respect, but with suspicion, with distance, with the quiet understanding that something is very, very wrong. Their lies are decaying, rotting in the open air, and no matter how hard they try to stitch the pieces back together, the truth is seeping through the cracks like blood through white fabric. Oh, the irony. They spent so long believing they were untouchable, believing that words were just words, that pain was just a game. But now every whisper sends a chill down their spine. Every unexpected sound makes their pulse stutter. They flinch at shadows, hesitate before opening doors, feel the pressure of unseen eyes crawling up their back like a phantom touch. You are in their mind, in their breath, in the spaces between their thoughts. They don't need to see you to know you're there. That's the beauty of it all. Your presence is an infection, one they have no cure for. Regret is a bitter poison, isn't it? They taste it now, thick and suffocating, clogging their throat with the knowledge that they were the architects of their own suffering. They thought themselves clever, thought they could twist the knife without ever bleeding themselves. But wounds have a way of festering, of spreading, of demanding repayment. And now they are drowning in the consequences of the chaos they created. Every lie they spun is a noose tightening. Every deception a step toward their own inevitable demise. They are running out of places to hide, out of excuses, out of time. How does it feel, knowing they are no longer the hunter? That the predator they once saw in the mirror is now nothing but prey with shaking hands and fading bravado. The world has turned on them in the most exquisite way, not with fire, not with fury, but with silence, with doubt, with the creeping realization that they are standing in the center of a collapsing world, and the one person they tried to destroy is the one holding the match. And the best part? They don't know when it will happen. They don't know how. They don't know if the next sunrise will be their last as the person they used to be, if the next breath they take will be the moment their facade crumbles beyond repair. The waiting is worse than the fall, the slow descent into madness, the sleepless nights, the cold sweat that clings to their skin like a second layer of guilt. They begged for power, for control, for dominion over the weak. But what happens when the weak refuse to break? When the broken piece themselves back together into something unrecognizable? They wanted you to disappear, but all they did was summon something greater than themselves. Something relentless. Something that doesn't forgive. Something that doesn't stop. They check their reflection in the mirror, hoping to see the person they used to be. But they don't recognize the hollowed eyes staring back at them. Don't understand the sunken cheeks, the trembling lips, the weight pressing down on their chest. They look like a ghost, a remnant of a story that's reaching its final page. And you? You are the ink, writing the ending they never saw coming. What a tragic sight, watching them shrink into the shadows, their arrogance reduced to nothing more than a dying ember. They can feel the walls closing in, the cold fingers of retribution brushing against their throat. They can hear the whispers, not just from you, but from the past they tried to bury. It's clawing its way back, ravenous, relentless, refusing to be ignored. They thought they could outrun it. They thought they were safe. But justice has patience. And you? You have all the time in the world. So let them wait. Let them tremble. Let them count the seconds, the minutes, the hours, wondering when the ground beneath them will finally collapse. Because the beauty of vengeance isn't in the strike. It isn't in the scream. It isn't even in the fall. No, the true beauty is in the moment before it all happens. The moment they realize they were never in control, that the story was never theirs to write, that the end was sealed the moment they made an enemy of someone who refused to stay broken. And now they don't just fear you, they worship the shadow of your wrath.